This is part 2 of how Jesus teaches contentment. Last time we looked over a number of points. This time we're actually going to move on to the lessons or the parts of this lesson, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And let's begin. Jesus Christ teaches us contentment by helping us to understand the vanity of being a creature created by God. That is the second lesson in Christ's school, which he teaches those whom he would make scholars in this art. The vanity of the creature, that whatever there is in the creature has an emptiness in it. As it says in Ecclesiastes 1:20 and 12:8, vanity of vanity, all is vanity, is the lesson that the wise man learned. The creature in itself can do us neither good nor hurt. It is all just but wind. And there are other passages in the Bible that teach this same kind of lesson. It's Matthew 16:26. Jesus says, "For what profit a man if he gains the whole world and forfeits his soul? Or what shall a man give in return for his soul?" In other words, there is really, truly great value in the human soul, but it's value that's given to it by God. And it amounts to a great deal in God's economy. In earthly economy, maybe not so much. But in God's economy, it is of great value. And yet, when we try to live by earthly values, we find out that earthly values are of no consequence whatsoever in God's economy of what's important and what isn't, what is of value and what is of no value. In Ecclesiastes 5:10, it says, "He who loves money will not be satisfied with money, nor he who loves wealth with his income. This also is vanity." And the whole point there, of course, is that money is only temporarily satisfying. What will satisfy a person's heart? Jesus, a relationship with God. Third lesson, which Christ teaches a Christian when he comes into his school, is he teaches him to understand what is the one thing that is necessary, which he never understood before. As Jesus said to Martha in Luke chapter 10, verse 41 and 42, "But the Lord answered her, Martha," remember Martha was very busy getting ready for the meal, and her sister Mary was sitting at Jesus' feet, and she resented the fact that her sister was apparently taking it easy while she was working very hard. But the Lord answered her, "Martha, Martha, you are anxious and troubled about many things, but one thing is necessary. Mary has chosen the good portion, which will not be taken away from her." Martha had wanted Jesus to tell Mary to get busy and get to work. And this was the response she got. Jesus is saying, Mary's got the right priority here, not you, Martha, and you're not paying much attention to it. I think Jesus' disciples probably felt hunger quite frequently and for long periods of time because there were other priorities that were more important. What one thing is necessary? Spending time at Jesus' feet, learning from him. Number 4, the soul comes to understand in what relation it stands to the world. By that I mean as follows. God comes to instruct the soul effectually through Christ by his Spirit on what terms it lives here in the world, in what relation it stands. Who am I in this world? God has set me in this world not as in my home, but as a mere stranger and a pilgrim who is traveling to another home. Psalm 119, verse 19, "I am a sojourner on the earth. Hide not your commandments from me." I want to put God first, even though that's not what comes first in many people's lives in this world. 1 Peter chapter 2, verse 11, "Beloved, I urge you as sojourners and exiles to abstain from the passions of the flesh, which wage war against your soul." The passions The desires of this world draw us away from what is really important in our relationship with God. But this isn't really our home, those who are in Christ. This is just a temporary place where we're spending some time until we go to our final home. So where do you find yourself in this world? And lesson number 5. Christ teaches us wherein consists any good that is enjoyed in any creature in the world. In other words, there are some good things in other creatures because God put it there. And this is why he says, if there is any good in wealth or any comfort in this world, it has reference to God, that by those creatures somewhat of God's goodness might be conveyed to me, and I may have a sanctified use of the creature to draw me nearer to God. This kind of has in mind James 1:17, where it says, every good gift, every perfect gift is from above, coming down from the Father of lights, with whom there is no variation or shadow due to change. There's a lot of bad stuff in this world, but there is some good stuff that God put here and that God causes to happen. So don't miss that. Pay attention to those things. So how can a blessing from God that is given by money in this world or other blessings in this world become a reason to worship God? Because God can bless us even through those things. And when that is how God is using those things, then those things can be used by God to draw us closer to Him.